Shabbat Shalom?
So we come to services each Shabbat with the various things going on in each of our lives and in all of our lives and in our society and indeed our world. And there's always a mix of all sorts of different things. Sometimes I feel it's a bit like coming inside when it's raining and storming out there, because there's a combination of, on the one hand, not repressing, not denying that it is still raining, but also feeling so grateful to have a place in here where it's safe and dry and warm. But when we come inside, sometimes inevitably it's a little bit harder for the fact that it's raining out there and storming out there to leave our thoughts. Sometimes that's harder than it is for it to, leave our jackets, so to speak. There are so many things going on in our society, in our world, and for the Jewish people and for America at this time, and in this past week, in these several past weeks, so many things, any one of which would have been the single most challenging thing, the single thing to note and to name in a more typical week. And to think of all of them happening at once is it's not easy. Certainly, it seems that we would be remiss not to note that we had the very disturbing revelation this week of the murder of little Ariel and Kfir Bibas. 2 children, one of whom just months old, less than a year old, murdered, as we learned, with bare hands, simply for being Jews living in the land of Israel and being children and having not heard a fly. Very, very, very hard to swallow. And then the body returned that turned out not to even be the body of their mother. We don't even know who it is. I so feel for the Bibas family. Frankly, I feel for the family of the person who was given to the Israeli authorities who was not even Shiri Bibas. I feel for their family. We don't even know who that person is. It's not easy to absorb and to swallow news such as this. It's not easy to absorb and to swallow all the news going on in our world in these times. And to think of an event of this nature in the ongoing Israel-Hamas conflict coming not just as one event, but as part of the continuing set of dark chapters in this dark saga, on top of all those who were killed on October 7th, simply for being Jews in the land of Israel, simply for being in the land of Israel. Not all of them were in fact Jews, and all who were taken hostage that day, all who have fallen serving in Gaza in the IDF, and those innocent Palestinian civilians who have fallen in the conflict as well. This is very heavy on our hearts, and we take this to heart because it matters to have a sensitive heart. It matters to care about other people, and of course that comes at a cost, because when other people are hurting, then our hearts are broken too. So we come together, and I think Jewish tradition is very wise in finding a way not to whitewash and say, just walk it off. Life's a Hallmark card. You'll see when you take a deep breath. But I also think Jewish tradition never says that we should just give up and give in to despair. There has to be a happy medium, and Jewish tradition suggests that there is one. There is the approach, as the former Israeli peace negotiator and foreign minister, my former boss, Tzipi Livni, used to say, the approach of realists who dare to dream. There is such a thing as acknowledging reality, acknowledging what's on our hearts, and acknowledging it with heartfelt spirit. And perhaps that acknowledgement itself, as opposed to fighting with the fact that it's true, can offer us a modicum of serenity. Not just that, but doing so together in community and in love. And doing so with the resolve that when we stick to our values, when we stick to each other, when we stick to the fact that no matter what is hard in our world, it's never all that there is in the world. When we stick to the notion that there is always at least one and more than one good thing to be thankful for, then that's an awful lot. And I think our tradition guides us to feel that. And I hope that it can bring all of us heartening spirit. I hope it can bring us solace. And as we let the raindrops dry, so to speak, I hope that over the course of our time together in Shabbat services, it can also bring us menucha v'simcha, tranquility and joy. So let's start together, as we did in January, with Debbie Friedman's melody for just the last verse of Adon Olam. You'll see it at the top of our handouts on the first page. And this is the last verse of Adon Olam. It's also the last words of the bedtime Shema, which ends with Adon Olam. And therefore, the kind of words that can give us the kind of peace of mind to fall asleep by, peace of mind that, frankly, we also need when we're awake, right? The eternal is with me, I shall not fear. Again, not a Hallmark card saying there's nothing that could ever make us feel the emotion of fear, but I think a reminder that what we face, we deserve to face not with the emotion of fear. We deserve to respond to it with other emotions, such as determination, resolve, concern, but not fear. Because we have each other, and we have our values, and we have the fact that we can do something in response to what we face. Easier said than felt, but we certainly deserve it. And as long as we can say the eternal is with me, according to what that means for each of us, that there is love, there is spirit, there is possibility, there is togetherness beyond even the hardest challenge, then that's an awful lot. So I'll invite you to join me with Debbie Friedman's wonderful melody for this verse. And we'll start call and response. Here we go. Beyado, beyado, afkid ruchi, be'et ishan, be'ayira, ve'im ruchi, keviati, Adonai li, be'bo'ira, ve'im ruchi, keviati, Adonai li ve'ro'ira. Let's do it again. Beyado, avkid ruchi, be'et ishan, be'ayira, ve'im ruchi. Join me. Keviati, Adonai li ve'ro'ira, ve'im ruchi, keviati, Adonai li ve'ro'ira. Let's try it in English now. To the divine, I entrust my spirit. When I sleep and when I wake, and with my spirit, my body too, the eternal is with me, I shall not fear. And with my spirit, my body too, the eternal is with me, I shall not fear. One more time in Hebrew. Beyado, avkid ruchi, be'et ishan, be'ayira, ve'im ruchi, keviati, Adonai li ve'ro'ira, ve'im ruchi, keviati, Adonai li ve'ro'ira. So let's all take a deep breath together.